Hi, today I just briefly wanted to talk a little bit about spirituality and our emotional experience and how that's linked to our perception of our reality. And I wanted to tap on how science actually contributes to this and validates it. So if you're interested, keep watching. Hello, welcome back. Sorry I haven't made a video in a while, but I've been dealing with some pretty bad allergies. Um, it went away when it cooled off, but then when it got warm again, needless to say, I apologize if I cough or if I sound congested, but I'm still dealing with it. I'll survive. But in any case, I wanted to talk a little bit about science, and I wanted to try and keep it brief and how science really validates spirituality. Spirituality is the foundation for most things in life. Religion, you name it. Our experience with the natural world. It all comes back to the fact that we have a spirit. We're spirit, mind, body, right? Our spirit is how we experience emotions, and how our spirit interacts with our body is the science of it all, right? It's really interesting. But we are a combination and everything is connected. So in any case, there was this really cool meme that I had come across, and it basically said, you don't have a soul, you are a soul, you have a body, which kind of lends to the idea that we're eternal beings that have a human experience. Take that as you will. Everyone has different belief systems, especially when it comes to religion, faith, actually just language itself. I've tapped on that in the past. So in any case, regardless of what your belief system is, they all really kind of come from the same substance. They all come from the idea of trying to figure out who we are, why we are, where we come from, what's our purpose, and everything else, okay? When I was younger, I used to study a bunch of different religions because I was always fascinated with belief systems and how people, cultures. I'm fascinated with cultures. I'm fascinated with people. And I like to learn about these things because I like to learn how to relate to people. The whole world could benefit more from listening to hear and not listening to respond. So when you communicate, it's important to hear what someone's saying, because oftentimes you can have two people trying to say the exact same thing, but because of our belief systems or any blockages we have around that, we might misinterpret them or misunderstand what they're trying to say. And if we're not listening to hear what they're trying to say and to learn, but instead to respond or to, out of ego, be right and win an argument, we inhibit ourselves from growing, because we all have something to say and learn, and we all have something to give, okay? But in any case, to get back to the science of it, Albert Einstein himself quoted, I'm going to refer a little bit over here because I have some stuff written down. Everything in life is vibration, okay? Everything in life is vibration. So if you think of the science of vibration, in fact, I suggest you research that, and you can start there because it's a big rabbit hole and it's all based in science. The science of vibration, right? So basically the two things that set everything apart in our internal, external, natural world is the atomic structure, okay, and the vibrational frequency in which that vibrates at, right? So if you think of the speed or frequency that things vibrate at, that's what determines whether something presents as a gas, a solid, or a liquid, okay? And those are just the things that we can see or with our five senses that we know, we can see, we can touch, but there's so many things that we know through science that we can't even touch or see or oftentimes hear. Think of sound waves and how they harness that in radio waves, right? Think of electricity. We don't see electricity. We see the result of electricity, but we don't see those electrodes running through the wires, right? You have sound waves, you have light waves. There's a whole entire spectrum of color that we don't even see, right? It's fascinating. And we can learn that in science class, and you know, we tend to compartmentalize in life. So we'll sit there in science class and say, all right, I'll learn this and I'll regurgitate it because I want an A in science. But we don't oftentimes integrate that into our natural life, right? You know, and then depending on our belief systems, if someone says or talks about seeing something or whatever the case may be, then we think it's hocus pocus, right? Or if they talk about spirituality or manifestation, or certain words tend to trigger certain belief systems, right? Like in religion, you can talk about miracles, and I've tapped on this before, and within a religious context, we might believe that. But if we apply that into our natural world, we might think it's hocus pocus. So there's a lot in our universe that we may have heard about, but don't necessarily tap into or understand, or whatever the case may be. But regardless of which path you're coming from, whether you're looking at it from a religious context, a spirituality context, which for me, it's the same thing. Just, you know, some have more man-made rules versus natural rules. Or just a science context, they're all linked and connected. You think of Big Bang, right? We know that the world started with molecules, atoms, or you name it, all of these particles and vibration and whatever. But what makes it religious is who started it? Who set it into the course of action, right? Did it happen by accident, or did it happen intentionally? Okay. So that's another story, another day, another whatever. And everyone has their own belief systems around that. And there's no judgment there, because honestly, like I've always said, at the end of times, we're all going to find out that we were all a little bit right and we were all a little bit wrong, right? So to me, it's a moot point. And if we listen to people and with the intention of learning, we might actually come along faster and further. But in any case, so if we think of the human body, okay, it's vibrating energy, okay? It starts with cells, which are made up of atoms, which are made up of particles, okay? And those particles, they're vibrating energy that are constantly looking for equilibrium, which is why balance is such a big thing, because equilibrium is balance, right? But we tend to manifest as a solid, or present as a solid, right? Because of the vibrational frequency in which we vibrate. But if you think about vibrating energy, we've talked about it before, there's two types of energy, right? There's the kinetic and there's the potential. And then there's different categories within each of those, but you can look that up yourself, okay? Because I want to try and keep this short. But all things in our universe are constantly in motion. So again, some people are more sensitive and feel vibrations at a different level than other people. And we see this with animals. And I talked about that when I gave the example about the tsunami back in the 90s, right? Where there were animals migrating uphill, they were going to higher ground before the tsunami even hit. They probably felt those vibration frequencies. And sometimes they're more overt. If you think of an earthquake, right? We can feel an earthquake, but sometimes other animals can feel more subtle earthquakes that maybe we don't feel, right? So I guess it depends on sensitivity level. Now, some people will go down the road of that's psychic. I think every single person alive has the ability to tap into those things. Honestly, because it is based in science. It's based in our natural physical world. But it's our belief systems that tend to set blockages and things like that. So there's this author, where did I put it? What's his name? Abraham Hicks. Now, I haven't actually read him yet myself, but there's a lot of motivational speakers that I like to listen to that quote him quite a bit. And he says, as you think, you vibrate. As you vibrate, you attract. Now, he's referring to like the law of attraction, magnetism, things like that, which are more of a spiritual nature. Okay, so some people just automatically dismiss it, but it's all based in science, right? And there's different things that we can do to raise our vibration. So if you think back in the 70s where everyone was like, what's your vibe, man? There's truth to it. All right. So some of the obvious things that we know of is like gratitude, love, generosity. And then where we can connect that to our body is like the grounding and the breath work, being out in nature, eating high vibrational foods. There's power foods out there. I suggest you research that too. That can fill us with more positive vibrations. Okay. And then it's also other things that we may consume or choose not to consume, like toxins, okay? Alcohol, substances, consume more high vibrational things. That can also go to our other senses. Like what are we watching on TV? What is the music that we're listening to? Does it make us feel good or does it bring us down, right? So these are just some of the things that, that can really tap into raising our vibration. Relationships, toxic people, people that are maybe vibrating at a lower frequency, okay? And I'm not saying we can't be there for people. I mean, if you're a Christian, you think of Jesus. He sat with people that vibrated at a lower frequency. He didn't partake in their, what a Christian would say is sins. He didn't partake in that and like party with them. So he tried to raise them by teaching them how to pray, how to meditate, right? Meditation and prayer, much like spirituality and religion, they're the same thing to me. But everyone's different. Everyone has different belief systems. But by learning how to ground yourself, by learning how to meditate and be one with the universe or one with God and whatever you believe in, one with the earth, nature, natural law, right? It helps you to stay grounded within yourself. It helps you to stay calmer. It helps you to manage your emotions better and to be more in tune with your spirit, right? Your spirit, mind, body, and how it all connects. And that helps us to gain that balance. Unfortunately, if people are really toxic, and we all know people like that, and that could come through as behavioral patterns, anger, lashing out, avoiding, right? Or drinking too much, using substances. Those are all things that really keep our vibration low, okay? What we consume. If I'm eating chips and sugar all day long, but not healthy foods, that's going to bring my vibration low. And how you feel in your body, it affects how you think. How you think impacts how you feel in your body, how you feel emotionally. So it's all connected. It's cyclical. So that's why it's important. You start someplace, right? But like prayer, meditation, that's just one more thing that can raise your vibration, right? And being mindful of the relationships that we have in our lives. So it's important, like if you want to achieve things in life, or if you really want to say, I don't know, be a leader or whatever, then you need to surround yourself with people of the same mentality. That doesn't mean we don't have other people in our lives or that we have to ostracize people. But sometimes as our vibration may rise, other people, they have their choice, and we cannot force people to grow. We cannot force people to change, not even if it's because we want them to stay with us. Sometimes we just have to walk our own path and grow, and maybe pray for them and hope that they learn their lessons and continue to grow on their path too. But again, it's being mindful of the type of people that we surround ourselves with. How do they make us feel? How does the food we eat make us feel? How do the thoughts that we think make us feel? And that's a good indication on your vibration, okay? And depending on your vibration, it's going to depend on how you present to the world. So that kind of wraps it all up. I'll talk more on this topic in the future, but I just wanted to reach out and let you know that it's all more connected than people think. We tend to compartmentalize these topics, but they really are connected. So, in any case, I hope this was helpful, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.